Heritage Oak Farm proudly introduces the ProLineGRABBER, the first skid steer attachment that works like a giant pair of hands without a giant price tag. Let's watch how it works. Here's a shade tree lying flat on the ground behind a growing conifer. Pick it up? No problem. The operator simply reaches over and gently grabs the root ball, raises it up and over any obstructions, and sets it down, all with no help from anybody on the ground. Now let's watch how easily it loads a trailer. First, we gently spin the tree around so it's pointed towards the rear of the trailer. Then we gently but firmly grab it, lift it, and place it down exactly where we want it. And nobody needs to be on the trailer to help. Do you ever need to move heeled-in stock that's already been rooted into the ground? Here's one that was heeled in 2 years ago. Needless to say, the wind won't blow this baby over. And with any other device, you'll either need a hand shovel to cut it loose, or you'll risk tearing up what's left of the root ball. Here, the operator simply lowers the paddles into the chips, moves back and forth a couple of times while maintaining downward pressure, then gently grabs the root ball and lifts. Slowly, and presto, out it comes, roots and all. How often do you find yourself on the wrong side of the trailer? How often do you need someone on the trailer to jockey the root balls either to or from the far side? Well, get ready, because with a ProLineGRABBER, we can extend the arms an extra 2 feet, enough to reach the far side of any road-legal trailer. Let's watch how easily it's done. Simply pull a pin and pull out the extension. You can extend the arms either 1 foot or 2, or for bigger, heavier stock, keep them retracted. Please notice, this New Holland machine is not a large machine, and it has no additional counterweights on the back to offset whatever heavy loads are picked up in front. Yet, you can pick up stock lying about in any orientation. The paddles do not distort the root ball. They cradle it firmly, gently, and allow the operator to move it to whatever position needed. Here you see, with the arms fully extended, the operator is able to reach the far side of the trailer and without any help, place it where he needs it, releases it, and goes back for more. Now let's look at one more task, loading a tree into the back of a truck. With the ProLineGRABBER, there's no need to be directly behind the tailgate. There's also no need to unhitch the trailer for access from behind. Now, you can lift and set the tree down gently into the bed from the side, all without any risk of body damage. There's no risk of dropping and loosening the root ball either. How would you do that with forks or a bucket? Imagine trying to load trees into the back of a dump truck with a trailer attached. With a ProLineGRABBER, you can do it safely and quickly, all day long. Every once in a while, you may need to move multiple trees at a time, and the same amount of time that it takes to extend the arms an extra foot or two, you can change from paddles to forks and pick up and move 2 or 3 root balls at a time. The forks can even be used to move boulders and boxes or other landscape materials around the yard or job site. We found the forks to be especially useful when we have large numbers of like items to move more than a few hundred feet. As hard as that may be to believe, if closer than that, the paddles tend to work faster because of the extra time required to arrange material for the forks. Experience will tell you when it makes sense to use paddles and when to switch to forks. What you've been watching is the original Model 2036 ProLineGRABBER at work. That's the model that easily and safely handles any root ball from 20 to 36 inches in size. For larger trees, up to a 54-inch root ball, we have the Model 3254 ProLineGRABBER. Here you see the same flexibility and labor-saving motions as you saw with the original model, but sized up to handle the bigger stuff. With this model, it's very important that you put it on a skid steer that is big enough to handle the extra weight of larger trees. Without sufficient counterweight, you'll end up rocking and rolling as you try to move from point A to point B. We found it best to pick up the larger trees with the lift arms tilted down. This brings the root ball closer to the skid steer and reduces the overhung weight, which tends to tip the machine as it lifts the material off the ground. As the mini walk-behind skid steer market grew, we recognized the need for a mini ProLineGRABBER. We used the same robust design as its bigger brothers, but downsized it to fit the smaller machines like the dingo, the ramrod, and a ditch winch. Here we show a 500-pound rated machine picking up and moving 32-inch root balls. And even though the operator had only 15 to 20 minutes of experience with this machine before we shot the video segment, he was able to easily and safely pick up and move these trees. Imagine how much easier and safer it is to move trees and boulders with hand-shaped paddles than it is with forks or a tiny bucket. Imagine using a mini ProLineGRABBER to set trees into their new hole instead of dropping them in, then discovering the hole to be too deep. No problem with the mini ProLineGRABBER. Just pick the tree up out of the hole and start all over again. The ProLineGRABBER, the new way to move balled and burlap material.